Space, the final frontier. Hello everybody, welcome to another video of me playing Kerbal Space Program 2, the sequel. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see off in the distance my latest spaceship. This is the Marge, and that purple marble behind the SS Marge is Eve, a planet I have not been to in Kerbal Space Program number 2, not yet, but we're going to find out what it looks like up close and personal in today's video. Now, I should say right up front that I had to cheat in order to get here. I had to turn on infinite fuel because I'm bad at flying spaceships and I was going to run out of fuel. I was going to run out of gas. Making an intercept with Eve was very hard, and I got an intercept on the maneuver planner, but then when I actually burned the engines, it didn't. I must have done the burn wrong. I burned at the wrong time, or for too long, or I messed something up with the burn, and so I didn't get the intercept that the planner had said I was going to, and then I did a bunch of stuff to try to fix it, and well, I eventually got it to work, but only because I gave myself infinity fuels. And you can get to the infinity fuel by hitting escape and just going down here to settings. And right here under general, infinite propellant. Easy to cheat. That's Kerbal Space Program 2's motto. Easy to cheat. It's a hard game, and sometimes cheating's the only way to go. But this wasn't a challenge to see if I could get to Eve without cheating. I mean, I kind of wanted to do that. That would have been my preference. But this was, I wanted to go to Eve and see what it looks like. And if cheating with the infinity fuel is what it takes to do that, then so be it. Let's go ahead and burn our engines and bring the old periaps down. And we're gonna land on Eve, sort of. This is an unmanned probe, the SS Marge, and it's named the SS Marge because my first design was the SS Homer, and Homer couldn't even get into orbit. Homer was not able to get out of the atmosphere without crashing and exploding. So I had to scrap the Homer and start over with the Marge, named after Homer Simpson's wife, Marge, from the popular TV show The Simpsons. Wow. Okay, it just makes me nervous when the planet is coming up like that, but that was because I was accelerating time. Okay, yeah. That's okay. Eve is it's supposed to be like, oh, where did it go? There it is. Eve is kind of like Venus. It's a Venus analog, and so it is a planet. Unlike Jewel, there is actually a surface on Eve and an atmosphere, a very, very thick atmosphere, and there's even lakes, at least in Kerbal Space Program number 1. And there were lakes, and there was very heavy atmosphere, very thick atmosphere. It was very easy to land on because you can use parachutes because of the atmosphere. It was very, very difficult to take off from Eve if you wanted to go back home because of the very thick atmosphere. But we're not going back home. We're just going to land. We're going to use a very tiny little space probe with a parachute, and we're going to land on Eve, and we're going to see what does it look like. And this is largely because my trip to Jewel was a little anticlimactic. I was hoping to see clouds and gaseous, cool clouds as I descended into Jewel, and at this time, anyway, that's not the case. I love the graphics. The engines look so cool. So, because Eve is a planet, and has an atmosphere, we're definitely going to get to pass through some clouds as we descend into Eve. So this is going to get us that cool gaseous atmosphere for sure, I think. So, stage separation. We've separated the little lander probe from the rest of the ship. The ship is going to go into the atmosphere anyway and break up. It's going to explode in the atmosphere, no doubt. And our little lander probe here is got a parachute on the top. It's going to hopefully survive and land, and everything's going to be great. Oh, you know what, though? Oh, man! There's no heat shield. I don't know. It's early access, so maybe they haven't added parts exploding because of re-entry heat yet. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. For science. We're going to experiment. Accelerating time. That's pretty. Let's see. They're at 260 kilometers. Instrumentation does not show any kind of atmosphere yet. At 200 kilometers, still no atmosphere. $150 kilometers. No atmosphere yet. We're getting closer. On Kerbin, the atmosphere is at about 60 kilometers, 60 or 70? The edge of the atmosphere? Okay. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna stop time accelerating. We are at 75 kilometers. And it looks like there's a teeny tiny bit of atmosphere according to this little thing. Perhaps. Oh, a skosh. And it's enough to make the ship change and move on its own. So there's definitely some kind of atmosphere to affect its its flight rotational movements. That sounds scientific. Well, let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit more. We're at 45 kilometers, and now we're definitely in an atmosphere. 41 kilometers, and we're starting to see clouds. Oh wow, we're getting some very dramatic music now. Okay, we are at 35 kilometers. We are definitely in atmosphere, and we're starting to see things on the surface, I think. I don't know, are those clouds or are those hills? We're passing 30 kilometers. And, you know, Eve is probably very similar in number 2 to what it was in number 1, but I haven't looked up any wikis or any sites to see what they've changed. Because I wanted to come here in person, you know, and just kind of see it with my eyeballs, or at least I guess with the data that this unmanned probe sends back to us. Can't really accelerate very much. We can't accelerate time very much when we're this close. Oh, that's a pretty view. And so the frame rate is real slow when planets are involved. When I'm just out in the middle of space, the game actually performs really well. But as soon as you get the camera where the planet, where any planet is in view, it does slow down. So I bet the game would actually process better if I didn't have the planet in view at all. We are at 10,000 kilometers. It may be time to deploy the parachute as I start to think about it. I don't know. It's hard. Look at that. That's real pretty. Look at that. That's real pretty. Okay, I'm going to slow down time. We're at 5,500 kilometers and we're deploying the parachute. Did it deploy? It's armed? Deploy! Huh. Deploy! Maybe I can rotate it around so that it's not facing right down. Deploy! Maybe it deployed and it's just going to open up automatically later? Chute safety says unsafe. Well, okay. I don't foresee it getting safer anytime soon. Okay, well, we're at 3,000 kilometers. This is very pretty. And I would really feel better about the mission if the parachute would deploy. Okay, this is cool. So it looks like we are over liquid. We are over some kind of liquid. There's land over that way. So we're gonna splash down on the oceans of Eve. And that strikes me as a good thing, because maybe an ocean will be a softer landing than the ground. I know if you hit water at high speed, it's still gonna hurt. But it's slightly better than ground. We're at 1,000 meters or 1 kilometer. That parachute still doesn't want to come out, huh? It says it's unsafe. Well, it's not getting any safer. Oh boy. Here it comes. Okay, well, so we lost the probe. It has crashed. Oh, there. The splash came kind of late. Okay, well, it's not exactly what I had hoped for. I had hoped that the probe would survive and land on the surface of Eve, but you know, my goal with this mission was to see what it looks like in the new game with the new graphics and everything. And I see it. I'm seeing it. I'm looking right at it. So really, when you think about it, mission accomplished. Sure, I had to cheat and use infinite fuel to get here. Sure, the parachute didn't deploy. And sure, the probe exploded on impact. Sure, a pessimist could look at these things and say that the mission failed because of them. But, you know, an optimist looks at those things and says the fact that they happened at all is pretty cool. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the stars, or whatever, I guess. I don't know. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Thank you, and good night.